breaking stories like this. You can call me Uncle Turtleboy, Clarence, Aidan. I don't care what you call me.
Did you not say that you were going to take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby?
I think they don't like the things that I'm saying and they want me to stop saying them, but I'm not. I'm never going to stop. Now, these are the kind of stories, guys, that must be told. I'm just a guy who's breaking stories and reporting news from my basement. Hey, what's up, Turtle Riders? How's everybody doing tonight? Good, excellent. Okie dokie, folks. Welcome to the Turtle Boy Live Show. I've gone ahead and I shared this link to the stream on the various social media pages that we're currently operating. You should go ahead and follow them all. The Facebook gods and the Twitter gods have been very kind to us. And yeah, I don't think anyone had 902 or 903 in the pool, so sucks to be you. But I went ahead and I've shared this on the various Facebook pages. Again, they've been kind to us. If you followed this show for a while and you followed Turtle Boy for a while, you know we've had a lot of issues with these tech companies. And ever since Trump left office, they kind of started being nice to us. So they're letting us stay on there. AKA, go follow us where you can. Clarence Woods Emerson is my personal page. It's getting close to 27,000 followers. Follow me on there. You don't need the friend request. You can just follow the page. Also, the Turtleboy Sports Facebook page is a little over 21,000. And then the other Turtleboy page is about 21,000. You add it all up, we're looking at I think we're over 70,000 now. So that's pretty cool. Keep it up. Keep liking the page. Engage with it as much as possible. Also, get at me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @DrTurtleboy. I used to be banned from Twitter for 2 years. I got a new computer, a new router, a new phone. So they let me stay on there now until they find out who I am. You can follow me @DrTurtleboy. That's DOCTOR Turtleboy. Because if Jill Biden is a doctor, then so am I. You can also follow me on Twitter @TurtleboyPhone. Either one of those is acceptable. We have an Instagram page @TB_daily_news. That is, let's get that up to 1,000. I think this is our fourth Instagram page. We keep having to make new ones. Most importantly, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button. That's a really important button to press. Hit that subscribe button because we are here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night at 9 p.m. You're going to want to hit that bell, hit the notification bell to be alerted that we are live. I understand a lot of you people, I guess I got some messages about it tonight. Tonight's show is called Canceled. And people are messaging me and they're saying that, I got the notification for your show. It says canceled. Are you canceled? I'm like, that's probably the worst name I could ever pick for a show. So a lot of people thought the show itself was canceled, but it's not. It's about getting canceled. So we're here. Don't you worry about that. We're not going anywhere. And yeah, so we'll be here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night at 9 p.m. We also do a thing called Turtle Club, which you can join for $15 a month. You get access to premium streaming ad-free and a free t-shirt. You can sign up for that right on the website, Turtle Club. It is the community member section. You get all that fun stuff. We do that every Wednesday night. It streams directly from the blog itself, tbdailynews.com. Because again, I'm on stolen land right now with YouTube. This does not belong to me. This belongs to some liberal asshole in Silicon Valley. YouTube does. So I'm on their thing. They can kick me off whenever they want. Because unfortunately right now, platform access is not a civil right, even though it should be. But it's not yet. So until then, they can just give me the boot whenever we want. Now we're getting close to 20,000 subscribers, but I do feel like the writing is on the wall here, especially with all the climax talk. We keep getting suspended. I feel like it's only a matter of time. We do have a Rumble account, and eventually I'm sure we will live stream from there. But, it's important that we create our own, that we be able to do shit from our own platform. See, that's the thing about getting canceled is I'm constantly getting kicked off for shit, but I always have Turtle Boy, don't I? Because that's mine. I built that. No one can ever take that away from me. So I will always be able to put that out there. And yes, if they take me off of Facebook and all this other shit, I won't be able to, do the things I normally do, like share it on there, find new people, whatever. But you will all be able to find me. They cannot silence me. So we literally created our own streaming service. I invested thousands of dollars in that. I think it's been a great success. We completely redid the website. I'm invested in Turtleboy. I'm in this shit for the long run. People think, oh, he's going to go away. No, we're going to shut him up. Oh, no, we're going to embarrass him a little bit. Oh, he's going to be so humiliated. Nope. Still here. And I'm never going anywhere. And you could try to cancel me. But at the end of the day, you cannot cancel my spirit. And I'm not going to stop canceling you. I mean, that's my policy with cancel culture. It's, you don't cancel me, I cancel you. So that's how it goes around here. So go ahead and, subscribe, do all that stuff. And with us tonight backstage, we got producer Deb Z. Are you there, Deb?
I'm here. Hi, guys.
Hi. Welcome. Thank you. Deb always does a great job. And so we have two things on the agenda for tonight, Deb, that we want to talk about. We want to talk about the nurses in Boston who are just out of control again. And then we want to get to this Carano story. So I want to start with the nurse story. So and by the way, guys, if I have pinned to the top of this something called turtlechat. So we're also banned from AdSense on here. We're not AdSense. What the hell are we banned from? Super chat. Thank you. We're banned from the monetization aspects of Turtleboy. So we had to build our own platform for, if you wanted to donate money during the show. It's called Turtle Chat instead of Super Chat. So what you can do is you can donate any amount of money you want. And when you do that, you get to write a message, and I'll show you example what comes up here, the most recent one. So I will periodically check the Turtle Chat, and I'll see this. Like, this is the most recent one from Sean Carrot. He says, "Long live the turtle." And again, you can put whatever message you want up here. It can be whatever, like give a shout out to your boy, your dog, doesn't matter. Maybe call out somebody who owes you child support. Maybe you were canceled by somebody. Maybe somebody's being a little bitch and you want to call them out. This would be the appropriate venue for it. I cannot censor you on there. You can put whatever you want on there. It is your Turtle Chat. Again, this is kind of what I do for a living, and I love doing it. And this is just one way to keep the turtle running, etc. So, and I'm not one of these guys who goes out and buys a fucking boat when I get money. I just invest back into my product. And new year, new turtle. We're gonna do a lot of great things. Trust me, you'll see. Okie dokie. So let's get on with the first story here out of Boston. Nope, don't want that one. Okay, there it is. All right. So this made international news, actually. And I saw this in the news the other day. Or saw it on Facebook, actually. Yeah, keep scrolling down for me there. Let's see. Keep scrolling down. So, yep, there we go. Okay, so this guy's name is DJ Ferguson, and DJ and the mother of his babies. They have two boys together, and she's pregnant with a third. Her name's Heather, and they live in the Whitensville area. And if you want to keep going down, nice, lovely family. Keep on going. There we go. Obviously, hiking mountains and shit. Nice in shape people taking care of themselves. And he doesn't need to be vaccinated. So I said it already. God damn it. Okay, he does. He should get vaccinated. It is good to get vaccinated. You should get your COVID vaccine. It's healthy and safe. Exercise is stupid and overrated. And a healthy diet is really gay. You should just get this shot from AstraZeneca or J&J, and then you should just put it in your body, and then you'll never get sick again, except it doesn't protect you from getting it or giving it, but you're still a good person if you do it. So just do it, and then Big Pharma can make a lot of money, and they're really good people, and so you just do it, okay? Just do it. Just don't ask questions. If you ask questions, you're a bad person. Just do it, okay? Get your shot. So anyway, this guy didn't get the climax. He didn't get the climax because there's no reason for him to get the climax. He's 31 years old. And also he has heart issues. And specifically, it's been some people out there, guys. I don't know if you heard about this. With blood knots. I don't even know if I could say that word on here without getting censored. Some blood knots they've had from the old climax, and they've had some issues with this. So this guy has some heart issues, and I'd be careful with that if I was him. I'm just saying, it seems like the risk of something happening with that is unknown, whereas the odds of a 31-year-old dying from this is no, this won't get me banned. I just literally did a PSA for Big Pharma. Big Pharma is good. Everyone should get the climax. Just do it now. Anyway, yeah, so there's been issues with that people have talked about before, and this guy doesn't want to get it for whatever reason, and that's his choice. And so as he needs a heart transplant, and his lungs are filled with blood, and it's not looking good. And luckily, he's #1 on the heart transplant list at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. And unfortunately for him, this is a problem. So this was in WBZ News today. They interviewed the father. I'm going to actually bring it up on my end. It's a little small there. Hold on. Up here. So let me read this to you from WBZ News. It says David Ferguson is speaking out passionately on behalf of his son DJ. He says the 31-year-old is fighting for his life and in desperate need of a heart transplant. My son has gone to the edge of death to stick to his guns, and he's been pushed to the limit. The family says he was at the front of the line to receive a transplant, but because he has not received the COVID-19 climax, he is no longer eligible according to a hospital policy. And Ferguson says his son refuses to get the shot. It's kind of against basic principles. His basic principle, he doesn't believe in it. It's a policy they are enforcing. And so because he won't get the shot, they took him off the list, which is just absolutely insane that we have reached this point now. And I saw somebody in the comments say that this guy is selfish because he has 3 children and he's letting his principles, he's trying to own Brandon, he's trying to own Biden. That's not why people aren't getting this. They're not getting it because they see like everybody in their life who has it seems to get the virus. So no, you cannot get sick. Yeah. So that's this is, he's like, you know, people have their own reasons for getting it. So he's not getting it for that reason. Anyway, back to the story at hand. Goes on to say, Brigham Women's released a statement saying, and like many other transplant programs in the United States, the COVID climax is one of several climaxes and lifestyle behaviors required for transplant candidates in the Mass General Brigham Hospital system. So it's to stop right there. Lifestyle behaviors? How the hell is the climax a lifestyle behavior? Like what? Like, you know what a lifestyle behavior is? Getting drilled in the asshole. That's a lifestyle behavior. It is. Like if you're into that, like if you're gay and you're into gay sex, that's a lifestyle behavior. If you, I don't know, if you like to go water skiing, that's lifestyle behavior. This is like choosing not to get this is not a lifestyle behavior. It's just something you chose. It's a healthcare choice that you made, not a lifestyle choice. Lifestyle behavior. Get the fuck out of here. Lifestyle behavior. Ridiculous. Anyway, they go on to say, in order to create both the best chance of a successful operation and also the patient's survival after transplantation. So what they're saying here is that this guy is likely, they only have X amount of hearts, right? So they want to give them to people that are going to use them the longest. So if you're, 85 years old, you're going to die in a couple of years anyway. Why are we going to waste a heart on you? Well, 31-year-old guy, healthy for the most part, besides he needs a new heart. Yeah, he would be, that's why he's at the front of the list, because of his demographic. His age, I mean, not his race, his age. His race actually probably hurts him, but that's a different story. So basically here, this guy is at the front of the line for the following reasons, and he is at no danger. Like, suppose, I mean, this is ridiculous. So what are they worried about? They're worried about they're going to give him a heart, and then he's going to get the virus, and then he's more likely to die because of it. Why would he? Show me the data where that's happening. Like, is there any data out there that suggests that unjabbed, unclimaxed heart transplant recipients are somehow more likely to die if they get 31-year-olds, by the way, 31-year-olds unclimaxed heart transplant recipients are somehow more likely to die if they catch it. Is that right? Like, where is the data to back this up? I like data. I'm a data guy. Do you have any? And so where does this end? Is you know what's a lifestyle choice? Being fat. I hate to tell you this, people. Like, I know, oh yeah, it's hereditary and I have a disorder or whatever. Like, okay, that's maybe 1% of you do. Being fat's a lifestyle choice. You choose not to exercise for prolonged. You should exercise. Everyone should exercise. Okay. You choose to eat bad food. That's a lifestyle choice. Is Brigham and Women's Hospital not going to waste hearts on them, on the morbidly obese? Well, they might die. They've made bad lifestyle choices, right? Are they not going to give new livers to people who have had previous addictions to alcohol because they're more likely to hit the bottle, start hitting that fireball again? Huh? No. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, anyway, let me read the rest of this. Dr. Arthur Kaplan is head of the medical ethics at NYU Grossman School of Medicine. He says being climaxed is necessary for this type of procedure, whoever the hell he is. And I looked this guy up. First thing that comes up, CNN. Enough said. Post any transplant, kidney, heart, whatever, your immune system is shut off. The flu could kill you. A cold could kill you. COVID could kill you. The organs are scarce. We are not going to distribute them to someone who has a poor chance of living. So the flu still exists, though, right? Do you have to get the flu shot to get this? Right? I mean, so why are you even giving them out then? Well, you could get sick. Well, who cares? The guy is going to die without it. Give him the goddamn heart. Jesus Christ. Does he have to go to the Wizard of Oz to get a freaking heart? Holy cow. I mean, that's what they're literally acting like the Wizard of Oz. The Mass Pike is the yellow brick road. You're going to go there and maybe they'll grant you a heart. Maybe they won't. Maybe they're completely full of shit. I don't know. So anyway, let's go down to what the MNA nurses are saying there, Deb. And this is the shit that... All right, so this protest that happened outside. Unfortunately, this protest is led by a local lunatic by the name of Diana Plus, okay? And if Lisa Johnson's here, I swear to God, don't even start with this shit today. I'm not in the mood. So Diana Plus is an embarrassment to conservatives. She is a lunatic who walks around with a cutout cardboard Donald Trump thing and basically just makes a mockery of what it means to be conservative. She does a lot of protesting, which is fine. But she also, there she is. Diana Plus here. We're outside of Brigham and Women's Hospital where they're trying to give the poison dart to us. And we say, no, we will not give in to you, 𝗟𝗟𝗃𝗃 We won't do it. You won't poison us with your poison dart. I mean, she makes a mockery of everything. She's a joke. She's Diana Plus. But whatever. She's highlighting something that's important here. So I don't want to at all associate myself with her because I really hate Diana Plus. But this is a noble cause because this is absolutely absurd. However, just her presence there makes it like it's like, just go away, Diane. Just go away. But she'll never go away. She has a right to do what she's doing. It is what it is. Anyway, these nurses in this M&A group, the nurses in this M&A group are sharing this, and they're pretty upset about it. And we go to, and we've talked about these women before. Let me make this bigger. So remember this? We did this blog in September, back when nurses were forced to get it, and their fellow union members were like, I don't want to work with anyone who isn't climaxed, excluding legitimate medical reasons. I also seriously question their clinical and medical expertise. I did a whole show on these clowns. They're such idiots. I mean, what an evil, despicable, vile, see you next Tuesday this woman is. The vaccine wasn't available then. I mean, these people went, I don't even want to revisit that. Go back and watch the show from September. Filled with left-wing propaganda, you know, you name it, etc. Well, they're back again. They're back again. Can we go to Aaron Chase's comment? Great job, Deb. Great job. Okay. So Aaron Chase points out a lot of the things I pointed out here. The alcoholic continues to drink, even though he knows it will destroy his new liver. We're talking about someone refusing a vaccine that is very, a climax that is very new, that we don't know all the potential side effects and does not prevent you from getting the disease. Frankly, I would like to see some data of transplant recipients, of patients who received the climax versus those who didn't in their outcomes. How long before we start refusing treatment to the obese? Amen. So there are sane nurses in the bunch. However, go down to Kelly 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, we can only lead these idiots to water. We cannot make them drink. Looks like they already chose the Kool-Aid anyhow. So this is what she's literally calling this guy, this father of three. She's in there calling him an idiot because she led him to water, but he's made a grown-up decision, so he's a bad person now. No, you're a bad person. You're a horrible person. Okay, you're a disgrace to your profession. Then there's Charlene Carey ranting on about like her ex-husband and her ex-boyfriend. This woman's like 70 years old. Who even uses the term ex-boyfriend if you're 70 years old? Like, I mean, where'd you guys broke up at the sock hop? Seriously? Anyway, she goes, my ex-husband is waiting a heart transplant and blah, blah, blah. He's triple vaccinated and he still has to wait to get on the list. Yeah, because he's probably 1,000 years old like you. That's why. That's why. Because the 31-year-old gets to go first. Sorry. That's how it works. Being climaxed doesn't make him a better person than the 31-year-old. Okay. So there she is. Let's go down to, and did you see Deb, did you see Charlene Carey's rant on Pearl Harbor Day last year? This was a gem. I mean, this was just, I can't even read this whole thing. You see that, Deb? It says, I can't unmute your guests because they chose to mute themselves. You see this whole thing? Where'd Deb go?
Am I here? Am I here?
Oh, can I guess I can't hear you if I put you down there.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is pretty wild. This whole thing. I mean, I can't even, I've been off. This is just, I read it briefly as quickly as I could. I will not, we are nurses. Basically it's a whole thing about how she's going to wear a mask everywhere and how she's not going to, how you're not immune if you've already had it before. There's no such thing as natural immunity. You're probably going to die from this. That, all these people are dying. It's just like, she doesn't shut up. It's like, they're ridiculous. Okay. But the worst of all is this woman. What the hell's her name? Rosalie Blankhorn. We got the picture of her queued up there. There she blows. There she blows. So Rosalie Blankhorn is an MNA nurse, and there she is at Brigham and Women's Hospital, and she had some thoughts. She goes, I can't believe she actually said this. Heart transplants are too precious to waste on dummies. I mean, evil. Pure evil. See you next Tuesday. Dummies. This guy is a human being. He's a patient in your hospital under your care, and you're calling him a dummy on Facebook because of a healthcare choice that he made. Bow your head in shame, you filthy, disgusting pig. That's what you are, Rosalie. You're a filthy pig. I don't care how many lives you saved in your career or all the good work you've done. You're a shitty person. You really are. Go to hell. Go to hell. That's where you go. I hope you burn there. And again, remember, these people are the ones that, people are, they want you to say, they want to say that we are, we should be getting along with these people. That we should be getting, we should find common ground with these people. The hell do you want to find common ground? You can't find common ground with people like this. They're evil. They're letting you know. They're literally your enemy. Somebody was like, hey, why don't you be nice? The OP. She's like, I respectfully suggest that we all have a right to our opinions. Yeah, because good for Marie Lisa, by the way, for stepping in there and being like, hey, these are our patients, not nice. And then Rosalie responds to that and says, what? What did she say? May I respectfully suggest that we have a right to our opinions. You have yours and I have mine. Appreciate it if you'd leave your judgments of me to yourself. You literally called a very sick man a dummy. So how about you not tell other people not to make judgments? Stupid. You are not my mother. Yeah, well, she'd have to be 1,000 years old for that. And I don't need your admonishment. And you weren't respectful. You were judgmental. Why should she be respectful of you? You're a disrespectful, judgmental person. That's how you should be treated. Fired. And you go down and, you know, she's got the usual crap there. Blah, blah, blah. Go to the Dean K thing. Remember Dean K from last time? This tool bag. We did a whole show on this guy. He showed up in the comments. Is Dean in the comments this time? Okay, so there's Dean K. He's what's his real name? Dean Hidaki? Dean Katima. And he goes, yep, and this happened. He shows a picture of what appear to be people saying like white people deserve, or BWH kills white people. And you're supposed to take from this, it's a white supremacist group. First of all, nobody's falling for this shit anymore. Nobody. Every time you see a white supremacist group show up, which is rare, because it hasn't happened since Charlottesville, you should immediately assume that this is fake. Like, the people are real. They're actors. They're probably feds. Probably. They're probably, or put up there by the Lincoln Project, which is what they did in Virginia to try to smear Glenn Youngkin before the campaign. This doesn't happen. There isn't like, you cannot find 40 white nationalists who are going to be like, yeah, let's go out in Boston. Yeah, that'll go well for us. Let's just go out in Boston and advertise ourselves as white nationalists and see what happens. That will go over well. Remember 4 years ago or 5 years ago, there were supposedly white nationalists coming to Boston to speak. Remember that? And 40,000 people showed up with Monica Cannon Grant, and they're going to protest them. You know who showed up? 𝗏𝗃. That was it. It was 𝗏𝗃 and a bunch of hippies in a gazebo. That was it. White nationalists. Give me a break. Is that white supremacist group? I mean, it's the only fear card they have. It's just like white. And what they're trying to do here is delegitimize this very legitimate protest about anti-climax, and it's by associating with white nationalists, which is absurd. And again, remember this stunt that we talked about in November, or you think it was October, that the Lincoln Project literally paid these 5 idiots, including a black guy, to go out there and pretend to be white nationalists with tiki torches and say, we are here to support Glenn Youngkin. Oh, yeah. And of course, you know, Mr. Senator Bang Bang there, Bang Bang Fang Fang, he fell for it. Because of course he did. Because these people, this is just, what's it called? Something bias. Do you know the term I'm talking about, Deb? What's that term? Some confirmation bias. Thank you, Deb. I appreciate that. There it is. Yeah, that's confirmation bias. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, keep going down. What did Dean? Dean have anything else to say? No, up the other way. Nope, as in down. There we go. Let's keep going. Let's see. Keep going. Let's see if Dean had anything else to say. Oh yeah, remember Dean? What did he say last time? What was this famous quote? Let me read it here. He goes, Dean said that I would love to sue their racist asses for slander and libel. So he wanted to sue me. It's been 4 months. When's that happening, Dean? He also went on to say, Turtleboy is complete racist, homophobic, transphobic trash. And anyone associated with it is complete trash. So you would get along. Let me tell you, Dean, there's this guy named Matt Carano. You and him would hit it off real well because you basically have the same philosophy towards me, that I'm bad. I'm a shitty person, and that anyone who associates with me is therefore shitty by association. That's literally. So there you go, Carano. I mean, this is who you got. You got Dean from Brigham and Women's Hospital. He got your back. That he's going to be a new listener now. You did that. We'll talk about you in a moment. We won't be bullied by Nazi Turtle. And so can you play that video there? This guy, I did not realize it last time I talked about him, but he was on the news, and you got to see this clip.
Plowed in. A Boston man says city plows left this giant snow pile right in front of his condo, and that his condo association is now getting fined because the snow is still there.
Now, the man who's a nurse discovered this mess while on his way to work at a COVID unit. And as he told WBZ's Mike LaCrosse, he hasn't been able to get any answers from the city.
I couldn't get my car out.
Dean Kanika woke up early last Thursday during the snowstorm, so he'd have enough time to make it to work at Brigham and Women's Hospital. The COVID unit nurse was shocked to find this huge snow pile blocking the driveway and sidewalk outside his Jamaica Plain condo building on Sheridan Street.
You couldn't even begin to shovel it because the snow was very packed and it was ice and the shovel wouldn't even touch it.
Kanika and his neighbors claim the snow pile was put there by a City of Boston Public Works crew cleaning up an adjacent dead-end road.
They said they will remove it, but nothing has happened yet.
The condo association has now been fined twice by city inspectors for not removing the snow.
This is the same day. So they keep issuing.
All right, we can stop it. We can stop it. So, I mean, think about this for a moment. This idiot, Dean Katina, the nurse, he thinks he's like, dude, you live in Boston, my guy. This is what happens. You know, anybody who's lived in a city, how many times have you shoveled out your car? You got street parking, and then a plow comes along and pushes it all back in, all the nasty ice and shit. It's part of growing up in New England in the city. It sucks balls. It's almost kind of funny when it happens and shitty at the same time. Like, this is city life. This is urban. You signed up for this. You're living in goddamn Jamaica Plain, dude. What are you doing? This is going to happen. And my better question, why is the news there? And the only answer to that is this idiot called them up and was like, hey, I'm a really important nurse. And, oh, yeah, what do you do? I'm a male nurse. And I need to get to work to save lives because I don't know if you saw in the news, but people were hitting their pots in their pants for me every time I would come home. So I'm really kind of a big deal. So I'm not like a regular guy that needs to get to work. Like if a regular person would, you know, when a regular person would have this happen to them, it sucks, but it's not a big deal. But I'm a male nurse. So when it happens to me, I can't get there and save lives. And, you know, who's going to bang the pots in the pans then? Did you even think about that? No, you didn't. So that kind of shows the mentality of these people. They really think they're a lot. Like, dude, you're just a fucking, you're a guy who shows up to work like everyone else. So anyway, the hospital wrote this fucking email. I'm not even going to read it. It's a bunch of bullshit talking about like, oh my God, watch out for the white nationalists and snitch on all your people. And it's like, dude, get this shit right. They better get this shit right. So I spoke with his the mother of his children. I think it's girlfriend, Heather, today. She actually just messaged me. He just got out of surgery. This is what she said. So he had a surgery today to get an LVAD in. I don't even know what that is, but it's like a pump, I guess, that kind of does the job until you can get a new heart. And she said he just came out of surgery about an hour ago. He's intubated and sedated, and he looks forward to seeing the live, though. So I appreciate he's a turtle rider. Don't you love this, guys? That always fills my heart with warmth when I write about a good person and they're already a turtle rider. I love that stuff. They said he's right before they took him downstairs. I told him that you posted an article, and he was like, call him right now. Then the doctors came in and took him. So I don't want to give him a definite yes. So I want to get him on. So maybe he'll be feeling better Thursday. Maybe we can get him on here and talk to him, because this is a good story. All right. So that's that. Why don't we go on to the Carano story? Let's talk about this guy. Speaking of cancel culture. And let's start from the top, shall we? And I briefly got into this in the live show the other day, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go forward with this, but I kind of have no choice now. So let's start from the top with Carano and my history with Gerry, Callahan, etc. So, you know, we all know that Gerry Callahan invited me to be on his podcast a little bit over 2 years ago. I've gone on, it started as once a week when I used to drive into Boston, and then COVID hit. And then it's turned into twice a week because he'd have rotating guests. Like I forget what day I was, but it was me, Alex Reamer, the Mute Man, Scott Mutrin, and Tom Shattuck. and each one would be a different day of the week, whatever. Mute kind of dropped off after a while. Mute was not very popular. And so then I picked up 2 days a week. And then Reamer got his job with Transgender Sports or whatever. And then, you know, I think Shattuck would go twice a week sometimes. I forget what they did. I was happy to do it. I mean, it was voluntary. Remember, we got paid in peanut M&Ms, and that was fine. I wasn't obviously doing this for money, especially when I didn't, like, if I was going to have to keep driving in, that would be an issue. Because I don't know if I've never, the 5:30 from Central Massachusetts to Boston, like, you got to leave at 5:30. It takes 2 hours to get to Boston. It sucks. It sucks balls. And it's just sit still traffic on the pike. It absolutely blows. Wouldn't wish it upon. I don't know how you people do it, but anyway, sitting at home, it's not a big deal. I mean, what do I care? I just go on StreamYard and I shoot the shit. And I've grown up admiring Gerry. Not grown up, but like as an adult, I listened to WEI in the morning. It was the I always thought Toucher and Rich sucked. I was never into their show. I know some people like it. It wasn't my cup of tea. I liked Dennis and Callahan, and then I liked Kirk and Callahan because their show wasn't afraid to hit on issues that people wanted to talk about that, like, you know, Toucher and Rich would never in a million years touch. Interesting word there, but that they would never, you know, go anywhere near. And that's why people liked him. And Gerry's conservative. Dino was conservative when he was on there. And Kirk is, I don't know what Kirk is politically, but he's like the politics of common sense, I suppose. Definitely not 100% conservative. Kind of tries to play a middle ground. I don't even, he doesn't support Trump, whatever. And that's fine. But he was big on common sense, and he's entertaining, and people like Kirk for that. And when Kirk got on there, they were the highest rated show in Boston, which is the only slot in which WEI would beat the Sports Hub. So it was a really successful show, and I liked it, and I grew. And so when you get invited to be on the show by Gerry, it's like, yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't I go on? Now, Gerry knew who I was. Gerry's been reading Turtleboy since 2014 and retweeting our stories, and they've invited me on as a guest on WEI before, especially after the Tarantino story in 2016 and my reporting on that. So he knows who I am, and you know, he's been following my work, and he is a supporter of what I do, and I'm a supporter of what he does. And so when I saw that they were being attacked by this guy named Bob Murchison, who is a multimillionaire activist from Sherborne, Massachusetts, who has a transgender child, grown-up child, who, and he took offense, I guess, that they made a statement in one of their shows. I don't even know what it was about, but I think it was something to the effect of, you know, 6-year-olds shouldn't transist, I think. Or maybe it was like, you know, biological males should not compete against biological females in high school sports, something really controversial like that. And Bob Murchison, in bad faith, would take their freaking emails or clips of their show and just email it to all WE advertisers and say, do you support this? Like, let me read that email. What does that email say? This is the example of bad faith that I'm talking about. Mr. Chase, I expect that Chase Building Supply believes in affirming the dignity of all folks in our community. Imagine what a freaking loser you have to be to write an email like this. I mean, how full of yourself. Like, this is what I do all day. I make sure that Chase Building Supply, like, I give a shit about Chase Building Supply, whoever the hell they are and whatever the hell they do. I need to make sure that Chase Building Supply affirms the dignity of all folks in our community. If I don't know that, I can't sleep at night. In that spirit, please take a few minutes to review the information below and make your own judgment. AKA, listen to me, or else I'm going to harass you more. Do what I say. I will also send you an additional email with more content on race. Bitch, no one asked you to send me the first email. I'll send you no, you won't, motherfucker. Block. I have recently heard Chase advertising on the Kirk and Callahan show. You may not be aware that these radio personalities have a long history of controversy on race, gender, and sexual orientation. And then they send her some Wikipedia page. It's just like, that's what I mean by bad faith. Gerry and Kirk, for years, have said controversial things on the radio and said lots of things on the radio. Millions of things. and you're going to nitpick and go through and find one thing that you think, okay, if I share this one clip and I send it to this Chase Building Supply, who probably does not listen to the show, they probably just take all of their advertising budget and put it in several different buckets, some radio, some print, whatever, digital. And they're like, okay, we'll put it on the highest rated show. What's that? Kirk and Callahan? Sure, whatever. I don't listen to them. My job is marketing. I don't freaking know. It's just my job to make sure our company's advertisements are being heard. And we want to put it on the show with the biggest audience. And that makes sense, right? Not to 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗧𝘂𝗍. He doesn't like that. And so he's going to try to disrupt this free commerce between people because he doesn't like the things that they're saying. And he takes these clips, and if you stand them alone, it can be controversial in this day and age if it stands alone. But you cut off all the rest of the show. You don't talk about the fact that they raise millions of dollars every year for the Jimmy Fund or any of that shit. They don't mention any of that. Just, this is who they are. This is what defines you. You said this one time, and this is who you are. Your whole body of work, your whole humanity, all that other stuff, that doesn't matter. This is what defines you. You said this one time. And this is what cancel culture is all about, is just defining you by one thing you said one time. And that's the only thing that matters. And so they get, they tried to pitch the story. WEI producers and Kirk and Gerry tried to pitch the story to, I believe, 𝗬𝗓𝗄𝗃 and the Boston Herald. Obviously, the Globe's not going to touch it. The Globe's working with Bob Murchison, but the Herald is supposed to be the other one that does it. They're too cowardly to touch it. No, everybody in this town is afraid of Bob Murchison because he's a millionaire and blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm not. I don't give a fuck, Bob Murchison. And Bob Murchison has yet to come at me. I don't know why. Maybe because he knows I'm not going to back down from him, and I'm one of these bitch-ass Joe Zarbano punks. I'm not going to back down from you, Bob. And so they pitch it to me, and I'm like, hell yeah. They send me all the emails. I'm aghast. This is one of the bigger blogs I've ever published. I think over 100,000 people read this blog. It was a big one. And they get exposed. And consequently, eventually, WEI took advantage of Kirk's mental health issues when he was taking a break to basically cut him. And Gerry didn't go with him at the same time, and this caused a little bad blood between the two of them. They're still friends. But, on the show, Kirk would say, Gerry didn't stand up for me, etc. And that's between them. But Gerry ended up basically having the same thing happen to him 9 months later. And he's been there for 20 years. He's an established media personality in this town, and they just got rid of him because Bob Murchison didn't like him, because it was easier to do that. And now there are shows in dead last place, and it doesn't matter, and nobody listens to it. It sucks. I don't know anybody who listens to the Greg Hill show. No offense to Greg Hill, but, your show's not good. It is what it is. Danielle left because that poor girl hadn't gotten a raise in a million years. She's making like $45,000 a year to go and, I like Danielle. Poor her. But anyway, so they got to go and do their own thing. Kirk has a nice situation. He's got Barstool Sports. I don't know what they pay him. I'm sure it's a decent amount of money. And Barstool Sports is a company that is not going to fire you for having controversial opinions. He's like one of the only guys at that company that has controversial opinions and shares them and doesn't get in line with woke orthodoxy and get in, all that stuff. So anyway, Gerry, on the other hand, doesn't have that golden parachute. So he needs to build his own thing. And he's like, well, this is what I do. I'm a media personality. So he starts a podcast. Of course, that's the natural thing. But from somebody who has built something from scratch, I could tell you it's not that easy. Now, Gerry's advantage is he's already well known. He's got 80,000 Twitter followers. He's Gerry Callahan. He can start something like this and get the word out and get a lot of subscribers. I had to start mine literally from scratch, create content that got shared a lot and read a lot, and build my own following that way, like brick by brick. Whereas Gerry already built his following, and so he can just transit and use that following to try to get to here. The problem for Gerry, that's different from Kirk, is Kirk's got a team behind him. Kirk works for a major company. And like Barstool Sports has a sales team. He doesn't have to worry about who the advertiser going to be on the show? Because that's a sales team's job, I would assume. And so he's got his producer, Steve Robinson, his experience. He doesn't have to pay Steve. Barstool Sports pays Steve. Great. Same people are paying him, paying Steve. Whereas Gerry is like, okay, well, I need to create the revenue here, which means I need a producer. He had a consultant. I don't know what that guy did, but he had a producer part-time, Callahan. That was not his full-time job. Dave Callahan. We all like Dave. He had wonderful hair, didn't he? And I love Dave. I mean, does anybody not like Dave Callahan? Remember Dave came on here? Do you remember that episode, Deb, where Dave came on?
He's really likable.
He is likable. I mean, he's not going to offend anyone, and he came on shit-faced. I don't think he ever watched the show before. But I got to go back and watch it. He came on here housed, and he sat there reading the comments of people shitting on him. He's just like, every time you try to call him, he wouldn't. It was hilarious. And he came back on. There was Cullen Redemption, and he had a much better show the second time around.
Yeah, totally.
So we all like Cully. So anyway, back to this situation here. So I liked him on there, and he played the role of producer well, right? He would sit in the background, and once in a while he'd come on and have a funny one-liner here or there, or just kind of stimulate the conversation. He didn't take himself too seriously. He was lighthearted. He could get along with everyone. That's why everybody liked Cullen. So, anyway, then all of a sudden one day, Cullen gets the job at Barstool because Steve Robinson decided to go full, Gabby Petito minus a homicide, just get in a van, I think, and travel around and, be a free spirit. And so that opened up a job for Dave Cullen. He takes it, and now Gerry needs a producer. And then he has a try. Remember he hired the military guy for like 2 days, and he was horrible. And then he had a couple people try out. I think two of them were Minifans, and there was Alice Shattuck, Tom's wife, and then there was what was the guy with the beard's name? It wasn't Warthog, was it? Who was that one? Somebody remember. But anyway, and then Carano was the third. There's Carano right there. Matt Carano. Craig, that was right. It's the Craig. Thank you. And so Carano got it. And I'm going to be honest, I thought of the three, I'm like, okay, to me, he was the best because he seemed the most comfortable behind a microphone. And he seemed confident in it. I didn't know much about him. Again, he's a Minifan. And a Minifan, I would best describe a Minifan as somebody who annually travels to Madawaska to go ice fishing, and ultimately their goal is to start their own offshoot podcast that mostly talks about the Kirk Minihane show. And so he's got a podcast of his own called Quantum something with this other guy named Chris, who appears on Kirk's show a lot. And there he is, they talked about it once. That was a big deal for him.
Yeah, you won easily.
Yeah.
But I have played tennis before. I will destroy you.
Is that mine? Did I play that?
I have played tennis before.
Oh, so I think can you play that audio of him? Of the 10? This is what the program is, basically. Exciting stuff.
No win.
Yeah.
And you won easily.
But I have played tennis before.
I will destroy you.
You will not destroy me. But I have played tennis before, you realize.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to.
What are you, �奧𝗏𝗏 now?
I will beat you badly.
You said you'd beat me, but you think badly?
Yeah.
Why so cocky about it? You think
Because
you're
I
that
play
good?
at least once a week.
Yeah,
for the past 2 years.
It's not a lot. Once a week isn't a lot.
All right. Let's see how you do. Anytime you want, buddy.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm got the calendar book out.
Exciting stuff right there. Can't miss that. So that's his demo, and that's what he talks about on there, and it's really funny. It's really cool. And he's into crypto, which is very cool and very trendy. He's a libertarian. We all know how I feel about libertarians. They're they're people who stand for absolutely nothing, and can't pick a side. And he claims to be an opponent of cancel culture and censorship. Now, keep in mind, the whole existence of the Gerry Callahan show is to be anti-cancel culture. Like, the host literally got canceled. So they're going to dedicate the show to being anti-cancel culture, which is fine. It's great. I agree with that completely. Let's play this tape to hear what he says about Facebook.
Like Facebook to Twitter interaction is like a 10-to-1 ratio. Now we are just crushing Facebook. But what that does is it puts more eyes on us. And so, yeah. And I thought like this one that we've done less benign content. The one that they flagged was one where Turtleboy was on with us. It was I think it was 2 weeks ago, and we talk about Rittenhouse and it being self-defense. And it was removed for violating our community standards. And of course, when you do that, they don't tell you exactly what that means. They'll say it could be, promoting terrorism or promoting violence or whatever.
There's no specific violation.
Yeah, it's a violation. So I was shocked that this is what triggered them off. But this is why it is so important for people to join the Callahan Show community on Locals. We need you here because we need to be able to protect ourselves from being shut down. So come on here. We live stream for free as long as you have a Locals login Monday through Thursday here. If you want to see the live stream or there's extra content here, come to Locals. It's callahan.locals.com. Very simple. Come here. And then if you support us financially, then we'll give you an extra show every week.
So yeah, it's basically Turtle Club. Basically, that's what they've done there. I mean, that's the new model going forward: is free content 90% of the time. If you want to pay a little bit more to support what we're doing, and that's fine. Good. I mean, that's America. That's how it's done right there. But you heard him railing against the dangers of censorship, and I'm on board with that. Right? I agree with that completely, 100%. Now, he gets the job in like June, and I did some shows with him, and I immediately noticed there's a difference, and I'm fine with it. I mean, it's not my show. I'm just a fucking guest once a week. He talks a lot more. He's the guest. He's not playing the role of the producer. He's playing the role of the producer, the guest, and the salesman. And he's quickly established himself as a much more of a presence on the show than Dave ever was. Dave was in the background. That's why people like Dave. It's the Gerry Callahan show. You heard that clip. He talks a lot on there. Talks a lot. And it's like, dude, this is the Gerry Callahan show. But whatever. Anyway, I come with my own bag of tricks, my own bag of drama, wherever I go. Everybody who's been following Turtleboy for years knows this. Everybody has been trying to cancel me ever since my Worcester days, writing about stories like that. People have been like, I told Kirk when the Murchison thing happened, I'm like, oh, I've been having this happen to me for years. People have been doing this in my advertising for years. I've been banned from Google AdSense for years. I had to start a whole new website called TB Daily News instead of turtleboysports.com because literally I was banned from Google AdSense. That site can't make any money. So all this new shit that's been happening to everyone, that happened to me years ago. But I was kicked off Facebook 6 years ago. Like, nothing new here. I had 112,000 followers, gone. So all these people, and this stuff happened to them. I also have people that literally dedicate their lives to trolling me on social media. And usually I just block. This is nothing new. They've come and they've gone for years. Kevin Lynch is the most formidable foe that I've ever had. But there's been Didi Delgado. There's been, Michael Gerry. There's been all these people over the years that have, come at me on social media and, tried to silence me that way. And Twitter is a lot more anonymous than Facebook is. Nobody uses their real name on Twitter. And so nobody takes people seriously on Twitter who do stuff like this. And one of the most infamous trolls out there is this. I hate even giving them, their, let's not time out too many people. Let's not time out too many people. But I hate even giving this guy, Brian Riccio, the satisfaction of having his name out there, right? But he is a guy who's on social media and literally all he does is troll people all day. He's the most negative person you've ever seen in your entire life. I don't know who he likes, but he seems to hate everybody. It must be a miserable experience every day waking up and being Brian Riccio. He hates Kirk. He hates Gerry. He hates a lot of liberals too. Like I see him on there. Like the dude hates everyone. He obviously hates me. And a few months ago, I was the victim of a revenge pornography thing. And I'm not going to relive that. and I got videos too, and I haven't released them because I'm not stupid to that level. But this scorned woman decided that this is how she was going. Like the psychopath who was stalking me for months decides that this is how she's going to try to hurt me. Is released this video, and it sucked what happened. I'm like, oh, that's fucking. I mean, if you've ever seen strangers sharing a video of you jacking off, like in your living room, that sucks. Like when it first happened, but I've seen it so many times now. I'm immune to it. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, who doesn't do that? Like, who doesn't, whatever. Like, and I'm sorry. This is how the courtship works in this day and age, right? People send pictures. That's what they do. Only a piece of shit that goes then and releases. Like, you have to be a real piece of shit to do that. Those are sacred. Everybody knows that. It's also against the law in 46 states. This is not one of them, but it is against the law for a reason. So whatever. That's not even a scandal. Like what I do in my personal life and who I send pictures to, whatever, like that's not a scandal. But to these people, apparently it was. Like this is a huge deal. This is Turtleboy is a bad person because he's doing this. You don't know anything about me. You don't know anything about my personal life. And it's none of your business. It's not my job to share it with you. It's my job to write blogs. That's what I do. Who cares? Bill Clinton got elected twice. The fuck do you care? You Puritans. So they start coming at Carano with this, the trolls. And immediately, right, Carano initially kind of backs me up. Like he just goes, I'm not sure what this is all about. And that's the other thing. Maybe you should find out. But do you really want to do 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐿's work for him? The guy's a terrible person. So that was kind of the only way. So he stood up to some random troll at Not4Work99, whoever the hell that is. And, you know, he stands up to him, but only because he's associated with 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐿. That's the only reason he doesn't like, he goes, well, let me tell you what's happening then. 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐿's been attacking Kirk and Gerry for years. He goes after families too. He's incessantly threatening Turtleboy and tagging us. Check out the thread you pulled this from. Yeah, so good for him. He stood up for it there. So he passed his first cancel culture test. Well, that changed. So eventually, more recently, another hit piece was written about me. And again, I've never even acknowledged this. I won't because I don't I don't punch down, I punch up. And if I had to acknowledge every single troll who said something about me on the internet that was untrue, it's like I would never get anything done. People make up lies about me all the time. He's a rapist, he's a pedophile, he's a racist, you name it. It's all remember how I got to where I am right now? Literally in Buffalo, somebody made up a lie about me masturbating in Ralph Wilson Stadium in front of like 60,000 people. Yeah, that's what happened. Right. So nobody believes this stuff. It's absurd to even think it's true. And I'm not wasting my time saying, no, I didn't. Because you're a fucking moron if you actually believe this shit, obviously. And these people have no power. So the difference between Murchison and these people is that Murchison is good at what he does. Murchison's effective. Murchison got WEI to lose probably millions of dollars worth of advertising dollars by writing emails. He teamed up with the Boston Globe. Like he's a resourced man with nothing but time in his hands who's probably mentally ill and is obsessed with these people and canceling them. Whereas these folks who take me down, they have free WordPress accounts and then they make Twitters and they have 5 followers. And that's it. And they just troll me all day and they block them and they make more ones. Like there's one guy who makes $1 million that I just have to fucking block him over and over again. I think it's called Nazi Hunter or something. I just block him over and over again. So they start tweeting at him and they post things like Lounge Lizard and Aidan's vinegar stroke. They often have my face on them, the O face there, which is totally normal to watch another man do that and then take a screenshot of that and use that. That's totally normal, right? This is a person you should be taking seriously. So Lounge Lizard, and I do know who that is, but I'm not going to say. It says Turtleboy Sports, turtle fraud, Aidan Kearney is a sick son of a bitch. Looks like he needs to be further investigated at Gerry Callahan. and then they put is, and so he wasn't tagged, but they tried. Do you seriously still have this clown on your show? And then they tagged the Holden police, the state police, the Boston police, 𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗃 for some reason. Like 𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗃 gives a flying fuck about any of this shit. And Barstool Sports, like they give a flying fuck about any of this. And then Aidan's Vinegar Stroke has, he adds Carano to it, Cullinan, the Kirk Minahan show, and the Callahan show. And some of these people were like upset that Kirk never discussed me yanking it on the couch in September. They're like really mad about that. They really think that this is like a scandal. Breaking news, grown man masturbates. Oh no. Yeah. Your kids can see that now. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Don't be a shitty fucking person and do it, you know, whatever. It's like eventually I'll have the conversation with them and that'll be fine. Like whatever. I'll explain it to them. And if anything, this is a valuable lesson to both of my children to say, look, guys, this is how the internet works. Daddy got fucked. Daddy did a big mistake. You don't want to be like daddy. Okay. And they'll get it. Right. So it is what it is. Anyway, back to this. So it's just a bunch of nobodies coming to Carano, and nobody should take them seriously. So I do my normal thing on Wednesday night. I text Carano and I said to him, am I we still good for tomorrow? I always do it on Wednesdays. We still good for tomorrow? And he sends me a StreamYard link in the morning and we do it on Thursday. And I called and he didn't answer. So I called him. And then next thing you know, Gerry Callahan's calling him. So I talked to Gerry on the phone and he's like, yeah, Carano is he's real worried. He's worried. He's not used to this. He's, just living his life. He's not used to this. And he's real worried about, he goes, and you know what he said to me? He goes, who's 𝗃𝗄𝗃? He says to me, which kind of says it all right there. He's like, he didn't even know who she was or what this story was or any of these people were. And I explained the whole thing to him and he's like, what's this thing they're saying? And I explained the whole thing. I'm like, it's ridiculous. I'm like, I'm not being charged with any crime. This is like the rumors I'm being charged with like multiple crimes. Spoiler alert, I'm not. I haven't committed any crimes. I don't commit crimes. I'm not a perfect person by any means, but I don't break the law. Anyway, Gerry's just trying to smooth it over. You know, he is appreciative of all the things that I've done and how loyal I've been to both him and Kirk. And at the same time, he needs Carano. So he's like, let me call. I need a producer. You know, Gerry's like, you heard Carano on there with the local stuff. Gerry would have no idea how to set that up. He would have no idea how to like edit the tape. He's a radio guy. He's a talent. He's not doing the job of, he had producers at WEI. Like now he needs this guy kind of, you know, he kind of needs this guy. So he's in a bind here. So he tries to call Carano back and he's like, hey, I talked to Aidan. He said, you know, he actually calls me Turtleboy. I talked to Turtleboy and he said all this. He told me what happened. You want to call him? And Carano refuses. He just flat out refuses. And so Gerry's trying to smooth this over. He's like, okay, he's a little, can we, you know, maybe next, like, can we just take the week off and we'll have you back next week? I'm like, okay, sure. What a big deal. I'll let Carano cry for a little bit and do his thing. Meanwhile, I text Carano all this information. I'm like, hey, let me read this exact. Let me see if I can read the exact. I didn't put the whole thing in there. Let me read it to you. This is my text, my initial. He claims I was like bombarding him. So I said, hey, Matt, I just spoke with Gerry. He says you don't want me on because you read in because of what you read in this person's blog. I'd like to talk to you on the phone about this. These people are master manipulators and liars, just like Bob Murchison. They just take things out of context. Their goal is to make me look like a bad person, to try to cancel you. And if you fall for it, you're a stupid person. Okay. Especially if you are a producer at a show whose entire purpose is to rail against cancel culture. So he goes, I said, I explain our whole history. We don't have to get into that. And obviously the irony of accusing me of being a bad parent, which is just, if you know the history there, it's laughable. And I give them all the links and I tell them everything. So that settles that. Like, this is your source, dude. You're not reading the New York Times. This is who you're getting your information from, dude. Maybe you shouldn't get your information from there. You've also been on the show with me many times. You could have a conversation with me. I am a grown-up. I can talk to you about this stuff. And, I send them all that. I send them DCF reports. I send them emails that show from the Holden police that show, I haven't done anything. I haven't been accused of anything. And so he doesn't respond. And so I take Gerry's advice. I let it lie. Friday comes around and I talk to Kirk on the phone. And he's like, basically he's like, I would, he thinks this whole thing is ridiculous. That he wouldn't put up with this shit. If Dave or Steve Robinson told him, like, I'm not going on with this guy, they'd be like, okay, you're fired. I'm not going on with it. Who the fuck are you, dude? Who are you? It ain't your job to make fucking choices like that. You've been here for 6 months, dude. You're nobody. This ain't the fucking Matt Carano show. It's the Gerry Callahan show. Your job is to produce, so shut the fuck up and produce. That's it. That's literally your only job. It's not your job to decide, well, I can't go on with this guy. He's a bad person. I read it on Twitter. Aidan's vinegar stroke sent it to me. This is serious stuff. Lounge Lizard said so. So I go, I have no idea what you believe or are upset about because you won't talk to me. But since I believe in transparency, I went and got the police report for you. As you can see, the detective specifically said there's no investigation here. You fell for a hoax. The second is an email they sent to this person who wrote the blog telling them basically that I didn't indeed believe that I was hacked. They were trying to get me on. They were trying to have me charged with filing a false police report. So first they convinced me that I was hacked and they started sending me text messages telling me we're in your computer and we're doing this and that. And I freaked out and I got a new phone and all this shit. And then I went to the police and I said, I'm hacked. And I made a fool of myself because they told me I was hacked. And then they tried to get me on filing a false police report after they convinced me that I was hacked. Make sense? Yeah, this actually happened. So I said, as a self-professed libertarian, you're now participating in cancel culture because you're scared of insignificant people on Twitter, which is ironic because it's an anti-cancel culture podcast. At least be a man and respond to me. That's a big thing, dude. Be a fucking man, brother. Talk to me. I mean, what are you scared of, Carano? Are you scared to talk to me? Seriously. What the fuck are you afraid of, dude? I'm going to give you cooties? And then he does respond. And he goes, yo, exclamation point. Do we have those texts? Oh, yeah. Before I even did that, by the way, he's like, I tried to kind of like make it lighthearted. And I noticed that he had tweeted out support of using the N-word and, how you shouldn't be censored for doing that. And I retweet him and I'm like, oh, and I'm the offensive one? Like, it's like a fucking joke, And he blocks me for that. Sensitive motherfucker blocks me for that. And I got another account. So I go and I go, don't forget to block this one too. And he does. He does. And anyway, so let's go down to the text messages there. Can we bring those up? There they are. So he goes, yo, you inundated me with calls in a long string of texts in a couple days while I was in the middle of recording. Okay, what does that even mean? You weren't recording on a Wednesday night, dude. What are you talking about? Honestly, it made you look really unstable. How the fuck does providing you with evidence that exonerates me from these ridiculous claims make me look unstable? You're the fucking dumbass who fell for a hoax, who fell for a bunch of lies because you're too stupid to look up your fucking sources, use Google. You couldn't do that. So I had to go and do it for you because you're a fucking dumbass So I went and did your fucking job for you. And then you tried to play it off like, oh my God, you're inundating me. I'm very busy. I'm recording. My name's Matthew Carano. I'm the producer of the Gerry Callahan podcast, and I have been for the last 6 months. Before that, I was Secretary of State of the Minifan Club, and I go to 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗂𝗏 every year. I'm not just like a regular guy at 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗂𝗏. Kirk lets me go up on the microphone and record with him for 15 minutes. I'm with my Hitler Youth haircut, Matthew Carano. Very big deal. Very big deal. He's been inundated. He was inundated with it. Right. Honestly, it made you look unstable. Truth is, I don't need to know any of this. You don't need to know any of this. Then why the fuck are you trying to be like this is a big deal? Because all the things that are being alleged about me are about my personal life. Like, my job on that show is to talk about politics, sports, whatever, and the blogs I did that week. The fuck do you give a shit about my personal life for, dude? Yeah, you're right. You don't need to know any of this, but you seem interested in it. You seem like this is kind of like a disqualifying thing, my personal life. Yeah, Mr. Libertarian, right? Live and let live. Nope. Except if you fucking jerk off. Nope, can't have that. No, no, no. And I don't have final content decisions for the Gerry Callahan show. You kind of do. But it's obvious you have a lot of shit going on. And then this condescending bullshit here. I highly recommend taking time to be introspective. Own the things you've done to put yourself where you are and take time to fix it. Who the fuck are you? Seriously, who the fuck are you? Own the things I've done? The fuck have I done? Nothing. What have I done? Tell me, like, at least tell me what you think I've done. You're not even man enough to do that, dude. You're too much of a pussy to even tell me. Because you know that I haven't done a thing. Have I? Nothing. Nothing that would disqualify me from being on Gerry Callahan podcast. I mean, what a total douche speak. Complete douche speak. Like, who the fuck are you, Mr. Purity Test? You know, introspect. Yeah, thank you, Macaron. I didn't think of that. You know, I need to look at myself in the mirror and be like, you know what? I don't like that guy. He's a bad person. I need to work on myself. I am never going to masturbate again, ever. I am never, ever, ever, ever. I'm not even going to have any sexual pleasure my whole life, ever again. Because, and again, if you looked at Matthew Carano, the last thing that would ever come to mind is sex, so maybe that would work. But I would never, you know, I don't want to offend him ever again. So I promise, Macaron, if you're, I promise you, if you let me back on, I will never, ever, ever have an orgasm again, ever. I promise you. Please let me back on. Please. No, just kidding. I don't beg. Anyway, so I go, yeah, I'm good, man. You know, I'm good. Gerry show is normalcy for me. And it is, because I do have a lot of fucked up shit going in my life. I do have people who threaten me. I do get sued a lot. It is hectic. It is mentally draining. And I do have mental health issues. But guess what? The blog and being on Gerry's show to me are normalcy. Like, that helps. Like, nothing distracts me more from the bullshit than just doing work. That's it. And I love doing it because it takes my mind off the other shit. Like, you want to talk about fixing whatever, this is how it gets done. And I go, he told me it was your call not to have me on. And Gerry did say this. Now, this is going to confuse a lot of people because a lot of people are going to say, well, isn't this the Gerry Callahan show? Well, Gerry's in a tough position here because he doesn't know shit about producing a show. And he seems to think that Carano is irreplaceable. So if you're out there and you listen to the Gerry Callahan, seriously, send him an email or send me an email. I'll forward it to him. Because anyone could do what Carano does, especially if they're paid for it. Anyone could do what he does. It's really not that difficult to get the MyPillow guy to do a read on the show. It's really not that hard to open a locals account. Not brain surgery, dude. Not brain surgery. And so, but, you know, he doesn't want to lose him. Gerry kind of wants this whole thing to get fixed on its own. And it's clear from reading this that this is not, like, ignoring this is not going to help. Like, that's a bad, that's not going to work. Eventually, you got to, like, get your employees in line and say, look, you work for me. We'll find a new producer if you can't do it, but you don't get to come on here and say, well, Turtleboy, who's been on the show a lot longer than I have, I don't like him. And I don't want to be associated with him. Well, too fucking bad. It's your job to be associated with him. So shut the fuck up and produce, producer bitch. And he goes, I won't be on air with you. Gerry being on air with you is his call. Like, he's so disgusted, he can't be on the air with me. I go, can I ask why? Scroll up. Well, you haven't said why. You told me this bullshit thing about looking in the mirror. I go, can I call you later? No, thanks. I'm good. Oh, fuck you then, cunt. Like I said, I don't want to be involved in any of this. I don't want to be involved in any of this. Clearly you do, bitch. You're involved now, ain't you? Ain't you? Yeah, you're involved now. You absolutely want to be involved in this. If you didn't want to be involved in this, then we would just go on with business like usual and we would do the goddamn podcast. So shut the fuck up and produce the podcast. That's your only fucking job, is to produce the fucking podcast. So shut the fuck up and do your job. That's it. You're choosing this, Carano. You wanted this. You didn't have to take this stand. You chose to. And I don't know what your motivations are, because quite frankly, I don't believe for a second that you're that offended by my personal lifestyle choices that you can't be around me. What I think is you just kind of want to, you see yourself as the everyday co-host, the next Dino, and you're like, that's what I'm going to do. And Turtleboy gets in the way because I am more popular than you. I have a much bigger following than you. Unlike you actually fucking built something on my own. You literally leached off of fucking Kirk and became a Minifan and kind of you got a couple thousand followers that way. And that's all you're ever going to be. I built Turtleboy from the ground up. We got hundreds of thousands of followers on social media, dude. I've been doing this for fucking 8 years, making a living doing this. You're fucking nobody. I bring my own audience to the Gerry Show. Remember back in the day where we would do the live streams on Facebook, and there would be the Rima days and the Shattuck days and the Turtleboy days. There'd be 5 times the amount every time I come on, because I bring my own audience. There's a lot of people that didn't even know who Gerry was. And again, Gerry's an institution. He doesn't need me. He'll be fine without me. Fine without me. But let's not act like for a second like I'm not bringing my own fucking audience with me. Of course I am. Of course I am. Anyway, so it goes back to this, and it goes, he goes, let's see, back to the text. I honestly don't care. Conversation over. Didn't think so. You gave it to a Kitzel mob led by a child abuser, and you're on a power trip, and you're too scared to even have the discussion on air. Cowardly. I don't want to be involved. Lose my number. Yeah, you kind of do want to be involved, though. Now, I'm all about confrontation, and so is Gerry, and because it's good radio. When people don't get along, for instance, last year, Callahan gets this. It was Rima's day, and you're saying something stupid about transgender athletes in sports. So I'm in the comments. I'm like, let me on. And Callahan, of course, is like, yep, this is good for ratings. Brings him on, and then this happens. Deb, play the tape.
Hey, Gerry, Turtleboy is in the comments. He wants to clarify something you said. So hang on 1 second. He's in the comments clarifying. Turtleboy.
Yeah, I just really want to know from Alex, because I'm listening to this whole thing. Why are we separating by gender at all? Why? What's the point?
That's a fucking idiotic argument.
It's a great argument. Why are we separating?
Do you think if these women are the same as me if I was racing against a girl?
Answer the question. Why are we separating by gender at all? Answer it. Oh, you can't answer it. Oh, because it's a tough question.
You are a moron. Okay, why don't you go back to sexually, harassing high school students or something? I mean, really? Really? And so you think me racing against a girl is the same as somebody who's taking hormones?
I love Gerry's face.
It's idiotic. Because it's idiotic. That's an idiotic premise. I'm not.
Why do we separate
idiotic questions?
Why?
Not answering idiotic questions.
That's why. The answer is it's not
Of course,
fair.
it's not fair.
So
fair.
Well, so what you're doing right now is you're mixing people who are biologically the same.
We can
sex.
stop there.
So you have completely eliminated the.
All right. So that was great entertainment. Like, everybody remembers that day. It was one of the best episodes because everybody likes. It's the only time Rima and I have ever been on together. He has refused to go on since he literally walked off the show because of that. And I expect that from Rima because he's a liberal. Liberals are known for that. Libertarians are supposed to be the opposite of that. They're supposed to want to engage with people. So, Carano, if you have a problem with me, we literally have the forum to hash it all out. I'm Mr. Transparent. You can ask me any question you want. Do it on Gerry's show. I am afraid of nothing. Nothing. Let's talk about it. You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. But this whole lose my number, I can't talk to you. I'm Matthew Carano with a Hitler Youth haircut. I don't need to talk about this. With you, you're beneath me and you're bad for me. I have a reputation to uphold. I'm Matthew Carano, Mr. Libertarian from New Hampshire. Yeah. So anyway, he goes, this is what he tweets out after, and he goes, I didn't forget. I was giving you an opportunity to not be a complete lunatic, even after the unending texts and multiple phone calls. Unending texts. I sent you like a bunch of texts with links to stories to show who your fucking source was, you idiot. You couldn't do it. I don't want private details about other people. But you do want private details about me. You just don't want details about, the fact that the person that you're listening to and who is now controlling content on the show that you produce. By the way, they're in charge of your show now, dude. The precedent has been set here. The trolls run the Gerry Callahan show now. They get to decide who is guests and who is not a guest. And he goes, don't send them. And I don't want my reputation affected by yours. That was the fucking funniest part. Your reputation, dude, you have no reputation. Nobody knows who you are. Unless you go to 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗂𝗏𝗏 every year, nobody knows who the fuck Matthew Carano is. You're nobody. If you're nobody, then you have no reputation to protect because you're nothing. You don't matter. You don't like, what's Matthew Carano's reputation? Now you do. Now you're just a little bitch. That's what you are now. A few days ago, you didn't have a reputation. You were just the guy that ran the Gerry Callahan show and talked about politics. And people just called you calling in 2.0. And I got text messages from you all the time from other people saying, this guy sucks. He's so bad. And I'm like, give him a chance, dude. That's how I am. I'm a loyal guy. I stand by people. Unlike you, I surround myself with a lot of snakes. But anyway, I digress. This all my reputation bullshit. Anyway, so go down to the next one. The story's not that complicated one. Do we have that? Okay, this tweet. So he says, so I announced that I'm going to be telling this story, and he's like trying to get ahead of it. He goes, the story is not that complicated. Last few months, you look like you're spiraling out of control. Stop right there. Based on what? Dude, I got news for you. I know Carano's probably new to Turtleboy. He didn't follow me before he got the job. Like, this is pretty standard around here, dude. Like, every day at Turtleboy Enterprises is chaotic. I never know who's going to threaten me. I never know who I'm going to get sued by. I never know what platform I'm going to get kicked off of. This is just how it is, dude. Spiraling out of control. This is, I call that Tuesday. So this ain't nothing new. They're trying to act like this is all new. This is all, you're going down. Like, I'm like addicted to heroin or something. Like you just started on this. What? No, this has been my life for the last 8 years. I recommended Gerry not have you on until you get your shit together. What does that mean? How do I get my shit together, Carano? Tell me that. What do I do? You tell me. Do I have to stop masturbating? Would that make you happy? Would my shit be together? Does that offend you? My masturbation schedules? Tell me. I mean, I'm genuinely curious what I can do to make you think that I've gotten my shit together. I mean, seriously. Don't fall for the hacking scheme? Yeah. Again, shit like that, unfortunately, happens with me all the time. All the time. But again, I have to get my shit together. What does that even mean? You're also a fan of the 𝗏𝗏𝗃 show. And we all are. And Kirk himself has been one of the most transparently open people about his mental health struggles. And people support him because of that. People like him because of that. Because he's so open about it. And all of a sudden, having mental health issues is a disqualifying thing. You can't be on a show anymore. Oh, okay. Thank you, Carano, for being the judge, jury, and executioner on that. And he goes, he agreed and benched you. No, bitch, he did not. No, bitch, he did not. So this is where I wish Gerry would come in and just, I mean, at some point you got to get your team in order here. Because that's not what he said. He did not. He specifically said he wanted me on, but you got him by the balls. And you know it. And maybe you feel like you're a lot more important because of that, but you've basically hijacked the show. And now you know that you're so invaluable to the show that you can do anything. You can make any demand that you want, and he has to give it to you. He has to, in his mind. So that's you. I mean, good job. Good job convincing him of that. It's not true, of course, because you're one of the most replaceable people I've ever seen. You're not talented. You're not funny. You're not funny at all. Like, you take yourself way too seriously. And you could be replaced by literally pretty much every, like Deb Z is a much better Deb. You're so much better. Like, you could produce the Gerry Callahan show, no problem. And you would be.
I can do it.
Of course you could. All you got to do is fucking throw in a one-liner once in a while, follow along, which you do every time, and that's it. I don't need to hear your whole fucking take on politics, whatever. When I ask you questions, you answer them, and you're good, right?
Yeah.
Great producer right there. Thank you. Back to the dungeon. Okay. So, and so this is, I sent him as a good reporter, I'm going to do my story. And I said, I'm doing a story on cancel culture. I wanted to ask you if you had, moment to answer my questions. And I did notice that the account that has been leading the charge to cancel me here, and again, I wrote out their names because I don't even want to give them the dignity of this. All this account does is like retweet left-wing things. Like, it says John Pavlovitz, who is some blue checkmark liberal douchebag, and goes, he goes, I'll admit it. I'm all about tribalism. That tribe is diverse, interdependent humanity, regardless of whether it was born or who it loves or the color of its skin. Okay. 850,000 people have died, and they're still opposing a climax. Amazing how much death people will tolerate to affirm their tribalism. Like, this dude, by the way, this is your new audience. This is who matters to you. This is what the Gerry Callahan show is now catering its content towards. These people, they're very happy with you, Carano. There's a reason. Look who's cheering you on. They're quite pleased with you. So good job. You took a good conservative talk show that was anti-cancel culture, and then you catered to the mob and you gave them what they want by kicking off a weekly guest because you're afraid of them, because you're a pussy, dude. That's all it comes down to. You're a fucking pussy. You have no sack. You're not cut out for this line of work, son. It ain't in you. It ain't in you. You're boring, and you are what you are. Okay? So that's my rant. And I would just like to say, that anytime Gerry wants me to back, I'm good. I have nothing against Gerry. It's his show. He can do what he wants. If he thinks Carano is invaluable, then he is, period. And I have not always, and I told him that. I'm like, I'll go on whenever. If I were you, I would tell my employee that he's going to have on the guests that I want to have on. He doesn't get to make those decisions. And how about this? I said, how about that he says he won't come on the show with me. How about he just produces behind the scenes? This idea was proposed to Carano and he rejected it. He won't produce with me there. Now he's acting like he will. Now he's on Twitter acting like he will. He's tweeting about, like, as Carano tweeted. Let's see if he's, what are the lies he's telling? Let me see if he's got any more lies. Matthew Carano. I have to go on a burner account to see this. He blocked me. Oh, man, look at this. I'm gonna bring this up real quick, Deb. Hold on. And I got a couple turtle chats I got to get to too. Give me one moment. Actually, let me get to the turtle chats first before we do anything else. Share screen. So first one is from Suzanne. She says $25 to make Big Poppy for making Cooperstown. Apps, way to go, Big Poppy. But it's a goddamn shame. Schilling, Clemens, Bonds, and several others look like they're not going to get in. Fucking shame. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 says, been a while since $100. Thank you, sir. Since I could help out fighting all the necessary causes. You're the real survivor. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that very much. Jack sends 50 and says, Carano is exhibit A of why libertarians are useless in the culture war. They run. You're absolutely fucking right. They are so useless in the culture war. They are just pussies who stand for absolutely fucking nothing. Their existence is meaningless. At least liberals stand for something, communism mostly, but they stand for absolutely nothing, libertarians. So thank you very much. Again, if you feel the turtle chat is pinned to there, if you feel like donating, that's how it works. So let me bring up his most recent tweet here. Because where do you see this lie? So let's look at this. So he's retweeting a guy whose Twitter account says @GuyWorcester, 14 followers, doesn't even have a fucking avatar. His 14 followers are Dickie Cummings, Bill Shaner, another guy with my orgasm face, Aidan's vinegar stroke, Turk Sanderson, Cole. I've had to block a million of these Cole Minion accounts. Jimmy 2 times and Lounge Lizard. This is literally, I mean, you can't make this up. This is literally who Matt Carano uses as a source and retweets as some person who matters. A guy with 14 followers. And this is who he's getting his fucking sources from. Here's a quick example of how easily Turtleboy lies to your face. On Twitter, he says Matt's lying about simply not. These people are obsessed with me too. They stalk me 24/7, and I ignore them. And everyone who's sane ignores them, but Carano can't. He can't. He sees that mention in his things like, oh my God, Worcester guy is saying things that are about Turtleboy, and I can't be associated with that because I'm Matt Carano and I have a serious reputation to uphold with my Hitler Youth haircut. Oh my God. He goes, I have nothing to hide too. I mean, you're a bitch. You've been hiding that, but that's what he tweets. And feel free to go on there. And people just fucking, he's afraid of mobs. Go on his account on Twitter @Matthew Carano and just remind him what a fucking spineless little bitch he is. What a bitch he is. And again, we can hash this all out in the Gerry Callahan show, my guy. And we can do this. We can talk about this. And let's do it. I have nothing against you. We can fucking shake hands virtually and move on. Right? Let's do it, man. You're not about that though. I don't think you're about that life. You're about that hiding libertarian life. So he is what he is. Okay. So why don't we do a little Ask Turtleboy? If you guys have any questions, again, my big thing with this is like, people should be able to confront each other if they have issues with each other. And the precedent that has been set here is really unfortunate. And I hope Gerry sees it. I had fun being on there. I'll always be a defender of his no matter what. I have no hard feelings about this. I get he's in a tough position, but the villain here is Carano. He needs to stop being such a bitch and giving into the cancel culture mob. All right. Any questions you guys have? Fire away. Yeah. I mean, Laura got blocked because she goes, I only watch when you're. It's kind of funny, Laura, that he could block you, but he can't block Worcester guy. And he can't block Lounge Lizard and the guy Aidan's vinegar stroke. Those guys he can't block. He doesn't block. He doesn't just not block them. He uses them. He cites them as a source. He retweets them. It's like, oh, look at this. Look what Aidan's vinegar stroke has to say. This is important. All right. Any other questions? And again, not being on Gerry's show, I'll be fine. Like this is my job. This is what I do. I would go on there once a week. It was fun. I like doing it. It's fine. Both of us will be good. And I'll go on there whenever, So I don't care. Yeah, go ahead. Apply, Laura. I mean, you could do a better job than Carano. Anyone could. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Wow. What's the topic for? I haven't decided yet. Somebody messaged. Let me actually run this email by you that I got. This was an idea somebody had, and just let me know. I don't know if I want to do this, but they said, let me see here. They said, how about a turtle club where you go through all the shit people are saying or have said about you recently and in the past? You go one by one and debunk or talk about each one and how ridiculous it is. I keep hearing you mention rumors people are spreading about you. I'm never on social media, so I never see any of these. I think it would be funny to hear how desperate and stupid people are. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if you guys want to do that, though. I'll leave it up to you guys, Turtle Club people. Or do you want a history lesson? We haven't done one of those in a bit. I mix it up on Turtle Club. So, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to make the show about me. I want to make the show about something, but I don't know if that's something you're interested in. I don't know. Up to you guys. I don't know if he will. I mean, that's completely up to him. I mean, I feel like it's like the elephant in the room, but again, if he just goes on with, I mean, I don't know. It's up to him. Who is the libertarian who's running for president with Weld? That would be Gary Johnson, I believe. Gary Johnson. He didn't know he said he didn't know where Syria was. Wasn't that it? AFC, NFC championship game picks. I like Rams Bengals, man. Although it's probably going to be Rams Chiefs. Let's be honest, but I like Rams. It was 𝗟𝗏𝗄. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. I think the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. I think the Rams are freaking good, man. They are a good team. Matthew Stafford's got it going on. That receiving core is really good. People forget they're missing Robert Woods. That defense, man. Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald on the same team. They're a good team. I think they're better than Chiefs. Timed out for saying you're doing coke. Stop. Yeah, I keep doing coke. Can't help it, guys. I just love it so much. Yeah, it's so good. Oh, Turtleboy trivia. We haven't done that in a while. Maybe we could do that. Okay. Let's play bingo. Ooh. How could we do that? That could be a fun Turtle Club thing for sure. True crime. I'd need some time to prep for that. Would you consider getting a burner account on locals and asking questions about No, I won't do it. It's like, to me, it's like that's a waste of my time. Complete waste of my time. My time is too valuable for shit like that, you know? I've tried out for Jeopardy several times. I can't get on. It's really hard, the online test. Really hard. Ratchet Backstabber Bingo. I like that one. Let's go. All right. Anybody else have any other questions? Fire away if you do. If not, we'll call it a night. Good audience tonight. Good crowd. 250 to between 250, 300 most of the night. Nice to see. Yeah, we could do a history lesson, perhaps. Oh, I like that, actually. Maybe we'll do something on that. What, with Martin Luther King Day coming, or just passing by. Does anybody have any questions about the Carano thing, or did I clear that up? Because I really don't want to keep hanging out. Remember a month ago, he was bitching about something you wrote? Yeah, he was about, I think it was like a month or 2 months ago. He was complaining that I was punching down too much. Because remember, I included a picture of a 12-year-old transgender kid who was being used by his parents as a political pawn. Like, he gave speeches in front of the state house at the state house in New Hampshire. He was trying to affect legislation. Like, he was a public figure, like Greta Thunberg did. And I criticized, like, he's like, why did you have to put a picture of the kid? Because the kid's fucking being paraded around by his parents. Why don't you go yell at his parents for that? That was the first sign that, like, Carano tried to judge me for something, and it didn't really make sense, his judgment. I'm like, wait, you're mad at what? Why are you mad at me and not the parents? Dude, like, what are you talking about? There is going to be a stack Ratchet Madness this year for sure. Yeah, you guys remember that? I remember that, yeah. Tough Trolls night. Were they in the comments? I didn't really see much. I don't really pay attention to comments during the show. So. It's like, and again, this just shows how dedicated they are. It's like, do you think I give a shit? Carano might. I mean, go, if you want to hurt somebody, go hurt. The trolls should make Carano like accounts of locals and then troll Carano. That will drive him nuts. Say a prayer for DJ. Absolutely, DJ. God bless you, my guy. Hopefully you're feeling better. Hopefully you're feeling better. Did you see Biden call Peter? I did. Peter Doocy a stupid son of a bitch. That was a serious threat to democracy. The media is under constant assault from this president, this fascist president, and nobody is safe. He endangered Peter Doocy's life. The whole media, they're all in danger of dying now because the president. Remember, this is what they told us for 4 years with Trump. he called Chuck Todd a son of a bitch. And this was a serious attack on the free press. And it was like nonstop news. And they like had fucking like basically funerals for it. Jim Acosta wrote a fucking book about it. Oi. Do you think Carano is holding something over Gerry? No. Just the fact, I think the only thing he's doing is he's convinced Gerry that he has the skill set that is very hard to replace. And it's not. It's not. Again, Gerry would have to, like, you know, put an ad on Indeed or something instead of just relying on like the next minifan up to produce the show. Like when 67% of your candidates for the job are minifans, like you need to expand the, you know, the net a little wider, I would say. But it is what it is. I hear you wearing extra. This is a large, okay? This is a large. I'm sorry, Laura. I've been going to the gym a little bit. I apologize, but I can show you this is a large. I get them right at the Turtleboy store. Usually I wear mediums. I'm sorry for working out. My bad. That's been another criticism of me, I guess. The shirts are too small. I can get an XL if you want. Would you like me to get an XL? Would that make you feel better? My bad. It's just how the shirts are made. Jessica Martin, no, I don't have a follow-up. I was going to get to her tonight and didn't have time. We'll probably get to her another night. But she posted more. Yeah, Turtle Gang Gang. This is a hot shirt, man. Got all this stuff in the Turtleboy store. It's our new website, very well organized. You're going to like it on there. Anybody else have any questions? Yeah, this is like they run a little bit small, Unjabbed. But again, it is what it is. In the chest, right? Yeah, in the chest. It looks like I got body paint on. Where? Where's the body paint? I don't know. Oh, look. Oh, because the shirt's so tight. Is that what you? It's a little bit loose. See that? See that? I mean, is what it is. You know, I can do that if you want. I don't know. I'm lying. I'm such a liar. You caught, and this is why Carano can't be around me. I lie about t-shirt sizes, guys. Carano can't be around a guy who lies about t-shirt sizes. Yeah, you can. Free t-shirt. You got to email me, though. You got to email me the size you want, and boom, I send it in the mail. Janetti was on the other day. Didn't do nothing. He called up the other day. You never know when Janetti's going to show up. Yeah, it's not that tight. Yeah, I'm like, what are these people talking about? I don't know. Again, their obsession with me is bizarre. Like, nobody is this. I'm not that big. Like, you know, like I'm not Alex Jones. Like, what happens when I reach that level? Jesus Christ, the obsession with these people is bizarre. I sent you the shirt, Suzanne. You didn't get it? I definitely sent it. Message me again. I'm 100% positive I sent it. Change how long viewers need to be subscribed. before they get in live chat. I mean, the comments what is it? 5 minutes, 10 minutes? I don't mind it. We can always just boop them. They get a little wild. What do you think about Russia, Ukraine? I think everything that Tucker Carlson says, basically. So that it's fucking let them. I don't give a flying fuck about Ukraine. I don't care if Russia invades Ukraine. I don't give a shit about Ukraine at all. Ukraine is a country, right? So defend yourselves. Why the fuck do I give a fuck about Ukraine? God damn. Like our founding fathers would be rolling in their graves. John Quincy Adams once said, America does not go abroad looking for monsters to destroy. That is not our job. God, let France do that. Seriously. There's a reason no other countries fucking do that. Many people smiled at a baby turtle speaks. I mean, I kind of like how it is now. I mean, I don't mind we got enough mods that we can, and again, I don't mind criticism. I'm a free speech guy, but if you come here and you're just like, do you do cocaine, Turtleboy? You're not adding anything to the conversation. You're not even attempting to at least have a legitimate criticism of me, something that I can debate you on. That's just, if you come in, you're like, why are you jerking off? I mean, you're not adding anything to the conversation, How excited are you Pelosi's running for election? I just assume she is. She's always running. She's going to die in office. She's one of those, like a John Lewis. She's never leaving. The Bills-Chiefs game was the best fucking football game I've ever seen. And I don't give a shit. Josh Allen outplayed him. Patrick Mahomes was great. He was fucking phenomenal. But that 4th and whatever, with the game on the line with 2 minutes to go, when Allen threw that fucking amazing, his ability to scramble in the pocket, his confidence, he's so fucking good and fun to watch. And obviously that game was fantastic. It was great back and forth. Those are probably the two best teams right now. Maybe the Rams too, as well. But man, that was a great game. But it's a shame it ended that way. And we can't even say as Patriots fans, right, that the overtime rules need to change because, we won the Super Bowl with those rules, the only overtime game ever. But it sucked that Josh Allen didn't get to touch the ball. It really did. We need to get Wu out. Well, you're not going to get Wu out because it's communist Boston. She won by a lot for a reason. She literally ran on the things that she's doing right now. He trucks everyone, Who do you want free agency? Allen Robinson would be sick. I mean, I think he's only 28 or 29, so he probably got a couple years left. But yeah, but they're not going to. Belichick is not going to spend money on people like Allen Robinson. Those people are going to cost a lot of money. You're going to get somebody like Juju Smith-Schuster. That's who's going to end up here. It's going to happen. But I'd rather him just spend, the big money. It's you need players on defense, man. You need playmakers. Get to the quarterback. So anyway, anybody else have anything before we call it an evening? Yeah, the defense is really old. I don't know how many of these Van Noys, Jamie Collins, they were great 5 or 6 years ago, but I think Judon is 28, right? So he might have 1 or 2 years left that are in the tank. And obviously the two, Barmore and Doug, are the two that seem to be the young guys that are going to be here for hopefully a while. JC Jackson, is he going to get paid? Probably not. You just assume they won't, I've seen the newest fake woke video, racist Karen whips black boy for, I haven't seen it. Send it to me. I'd like to see that. Dino, I don't know whatever happened to Dino. Jamie Leaf. Oh, sounds like serious business, Laura. Sounds like serious business. Yeah, Hightower is not a factor anymore. Van Noy is not really a factor anymore. You got and Belichick has struck out. Like he's paying for it now. Like 𝗦𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗃, 𝗬𝗃𝗄𝗃. I mean, Juwan Bentley's okay, I guess. But these things add up. You can't just keep taking these L's. Eventually, you have to draft somebody who is a playmaker, and you have to hit on something. And he's missed a lot, and it's catching up to him now. You know. But I don't give a shit because fuck all these people that don't believe in Mac Jones. Wait till next year. Like his rookie numbers are better than Peyton Manning's. What he just did this year and the confidence that this guy has already in the pocket, it's awesome. You know, like the second year jump is usually the biggest jump for quarterbacks. Like you're going to see next year, we're going to be looking at like 32 touchdowns, 10 interceptions kind of shit. 4,200 yards. That you're going to see a huge jump with Mac. He's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. By next year, he will not be Josh Allen yet. He won't be Patrick Mahomes yet. But he's going to get up there. He's not Joe Burrow yet, but he has their confidence, man. He's a national champion for a reason. I believe in Mac Jones, and if you don't, you're going to regret it. Trust me. Believe in Mac Jones. He's going to win Super Bowls. Trust me. I wouldn't lie to you. All right. Anything else, guys? I mean, 𝗬𝗃𝗄𝗃, I mean, he played. He's just not that good. I mean, do you remember those guys ever making like a big play? I know. I've been Mahomes' girlfriend. Oh, don't get me started on her. I hate her so fucking much. I mean, I don't know what that. He doesn't have 𝗵𝗏 𝗃𝗀𝗃. So it's going to be hard to put those numbers up, but he's going to be, trust me. All right. I guess we're going to call it a night, guys. Thank you all for coming on and supporting what we do. And I love you all. Appreciate the donos, people who donated to the Turtle Chat, and y'all just being here and supporting what I do. Don't forget to go on Twitter and get blocked by Matt Carano. That's your duty. And we will call it a night. We'll see you Turtle Club people tomorrow night and everybody else on Thursday night. Peace, Turtle Riders.